Hello, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Link, and today I'm giving you my top meal prep tips, and I'm going to show you how you can consistently hit your protein goal. Before we dive in, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe so you never miss a video from me. I know meal prep can sound like a super long and daunting process, but one, I promise you it's not. It's very, very easy. And two, it's super freaking helpful for so many reasons, especially the decision fatigue. So if you're not sure what decision fatigue is when you have so many decisions to make in a day that by the end of the day, aka dinner time or even lunchtime for some, you're exhausted, you're tired of making decisions. So naturally we just pick whatever's gonna be easiest, whatever's gonna be the most convenient option and go with that. So meal prep eliminates that decision for you because you already have your dinner planned, prepared, you have your lunch prepared, whatever you want to meal prep, completely up to you, but it eliminates that need for a decision to be made. It's more so put it in the microwave and reheat it if you need to and enjoy. So some benefits of meal prep include less temptations, fewer decisions, like I just mentioned. It provides structure. If you're tracking macros, it's super helpful to have a plan in place for what you're going to eat. That way you're not scrambling last second to kind of fit everything in or hit your macro number. It also challenges you to mix things up, try something new, and it helps with shopping, you know? It's cheaper to buy things in bulk. So that's very, very convenient as well. So meal prep tip number one is gonna lay the groundwork for us. I want you to pick a cooking method that's gonna be most beneficial for you, your lifestyle, your schedule, your needs, whatever it may be. So you have three options. You have batch cooking, you have portioned meals, the stereotypical meal prep, and then you have prepping your ingredients. So with batch cooking, you're going to cook a bunch of different meals and save them for later. So you're gonna cook a bunch, you can cook 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 meals, and then you're gonna freeze whatever you're not gonna be using right away. This is extremely helpful if you are a crock pot person. If you love to cook things in the crock pot, I recommend using this method. At least here and there, you just would create a giant freezer bag full of your meal, dump it in the crock pot, and you're good to go whenever you need to use it. Then we have number two, which is the portioned meals. This is the stereotypical meal prep. You have your stove covered, things are in the oven, you have all these things cooking, and then you portion out and weigh out each individual meal prep container. This one is extremely helpful. It's the most detailed method, but it's not for everybody. If you don't want to spend hours cooking some food up, then this isn't the method for you, and that's okay. You can do one of the other two methods. So with portioned meals, it is very, very convenient though, especially for macro trackers, because it gives you the opportunity to weigh everything out in advance, and then you can pre-log everything in advance as well. So if I were to say spend 4 or 5 hours on a Sunday, I have some food cooking in the oven, I have some on the stove top, whatever it is, okay, we'll use rice, chicken, and broccoli, the stereotypical meal prep. So I can weigh my rice out in each container and say each day I'm gonna have 1 cup of rice. Then I'm gonna do my chicken. Okay, each day I'm gonna have 4 ounces of chicken with lunch, and then my broccoli, I'm gonna have this much broccoli for lunch. Boom, it's laid out Monday through Friday. I can pre-log it because I'm gonna know the macros if I weighed everything out. If you're a macro tracker, if you're not a macro tracker, you can just kind of do what feels good for you. But macro trackers, this gives you the opportunity to weigh out your rice, log it, weigh out your chicken, log it, weigh out your broccoli, log it, and you can log it each day. So then come Friday, you don't have to worry about logging it. It's already in there for you. You just gotta heat up the food and eat it. Plain and simple. So portioned meals does take more time up front, but it does save you a lot of time later in the week. And then finally, your third method of cooking is prepping your ingredients. So this would include cutting up vegetables. You could batch prep your protein sources. So this is gonna kind of tie in with hitting your protein. If you want to just cook your protein sources and then choose your other like side things like your vegetables and any carb sources outside of that, this is a good option for you. So what you'll do is say you have a pound of ground beef, you have 4 chicken breasts, and you have some ground turkey. You can cook all of that meat and have it prepared for you. That way, okay, I'm gonna have chicken for lunch this day and this day. I'm gonna have dinner is gonna be turkey and whatever, and you can kind of prep all of this stuff out. That way it's prepared for you. So then you're literally just cooking. say a pound of turkey, a pound of chicken, and a pound of beef. You're gonna have that all cooked and prepared and just batch prepped. That way you can pull as you need. So if you are a macro tracker and say one day you're eating something a little bit different than you had originally planned, or you know one breakfast is gonna be higher in protein, so you're gonna take some away from your lunch, you can kind of weigh this out, and it gives you a little bit more flexibility while still helping you be prepared, especially to hit that protein goal. So meal prep tip number 2 is to look at your groceries. I always recommend breaking your grocery list down so you'll have your protein, your carbs, and your fats, your 3 macronutrients. So this is especially helpful for macro trackers, but if you're not a macro tracker, you can still follow by this. So you're gonna take your protein. What protein sources do you need? Chicken, Greek yogurt, beef, turkey, all that fun stuff. You can have all of that in one column. And then you can look on another one and say, okay, what are my carb sources? I want some rice, I want some vegetables, I want fruit, I want noodles. I don't care what you get. And then you're gonna look at your fats, which is gonna be things like your oils, nut butters, salmon, or any other like fatty meats, avocado, anything like that would fall under that category. Eggs could fall under protein or fat. So then you're gonna obviously have some that cross, like eggs, and some of the meats will cross of like if they're high in protein, but they're also high in fat. So really break that down, look at what you have, and then be able to build a grocery shopping list from there. If you want, you can take it one step further, look at all the groceries, or even plan a meal first of like, okay, like I said earlier, I had the chicken, rice, and broccoli. I know I'm gonna have that for lunch every single day. How much chicken do I need? How much broccoli and how much rice will I need to give me a week's worth of food? From there, you can create the amount that you need. I like doing it either way. I kind of am like flexible with it. So some days I'll look at the grocery list and say, okay, this is what I'm gonna have. What meals can I build off of this? What else do I need to add? So say one day I have on there chicken and I'm like, I'm gonna add some peppers to it. I'll make some fajita style foods and have that for lunch one day. You know what I mean? It gives you the flexibility to kind of pick and choose. But having some sort of structure to your grocery list is gonna be super, super helpful. And with your grocery list, you're gonna wanna look at your staple items. What foods do you always buy when you're at the grocery store? For example, I love to always have pickles in the house because they are an amazing craving crusher. If you haven't seen my craving crusher video, make sure you go check that out. But craving crusher for me is pickles. I love pickles. So I always need to have pickles in the house. It's one of my staple foods. I always like to have chicken and ground beef and ground turkey in the house at all times. I can make so many different foods or different meals with those specific food items. You'll find whatever your staples are, live by those. Always make sure that they're on your grocery list at all times, especially if you know they help you hit your macros on certain days. Like if you know you're really busy on one day and having that in the house is helpful for you, boom, make sure it's on the list. Number 3, like I said, rolling right off of number 2, you're gonna plan some of your meals. So you can do tip number 2 first or tip number 3 first. It really doesn't matter. You can interchange them, find what works best for you. But now that you have some food items that you're going to work with, maybe even looking at what you currently have in your fridge and freezer, you're gonna build your meal plan. So from there, you can go into MyFitnessPal or whatever tracking app that you like to use, especially for macro trackers. You're gonna log in what food items you're gonna eat each day. Take a look, how do your macros look here? How do they look Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, whatever it is. But take a look at each day and see what you can plug in to hit your number. Using this method, you can adjust your portion sizes to make sure that it's going to work for you. So then with this, before you even go grocery shopping, you can double check your list and be like, okay, I thought I only needed a pound of ground beef. Let me just get 2 pounds to make sure I'm safe. That way I can have a little bit extra when needed. That kind of stuff. And when you're doing your meal planning, make sure you're adding in your guilty pleasures. Please, for the love of God, do not forget your guilty pleasures, okay? Me, I love cookies. I love to have cookies and sweets in the house, so I'm gonna track those in. Each day, I'm gonna log 4 Oreos because I love my Oreos. I'm gonna make sure that they're on there and I'm gonna add it to my grocery list. So with this, I'm planning it, so it's eliminating any restrictive habits, right? So I'm allowed to have any food that I want to have, and I can still achieve my goals. I can still look the way I want to look and eat the foods I want to eat. So you just have to kind of plan for it. Give yourself some structure. It will, I promise you, it will eliminate any like guilt or restriction because you know it's going to fit with what you're doing. If you hit your macros, you're going to achieve your goals kind of thing. So I always make sure I have my guilty pleasure tracked and on my grocery shopping list. And finally, tip number 4 is pick a cooking day or days that works for you. So you do not have to meal prep on Sunday because that is the stereotypical meal prep day. If you want to meal prep on Saturday, meal prep on Saturday. If you want to do it on a Tuesday, do it on a Tuesday. Do whatever works best for you and your schedule. Okay, so I always recommend having set cooking days just because it makes life a little bit easier, especially planning down the road of like, when do I need to go grocery shopping kind of stuff. So if you want, you could do, for example, Sunday, you prep for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. On Wednesday, you'll prep Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, if you want to prep Sunday, all that kind of stuff. So it'll give you the flexibility to cook some meals for the first half and then other meals for the second half of the week. Mixes things up. You're not eating the same thing every single day, Monday through Friday, all that kind of stuff. But pick some cooking days that work best for you and your schedule. And now my top 3 tips to hit your protein goal consistently. So first, the importance of your protein goal, let me tell you. Protein is very, very, very important if you want to achieve your goals. You need protein. It will not make you fat. It will not make you bulky. Make sure you're getting enough protein, okay? So tip number 1, make sure you're having protein with every meal, okay? So eggs for breakfast, meat with lunch, meat with dinner, bacon with breakfast. One of my favorite breakfasts, I don't know, whatever. One of my favorite ways to get protein with my breakfast is to have eggs, turkey, bacon. My God, words are hard. Eggs, turkey, bacon, and Greek yogurt. That is like my staple breakfast. That is my favorite breakfast, especially if I'm getting in a morning workout. Following it up with eggs, turkey, bacon, and Greek yogurt just hits the spot. And if you want some extra protein, I have 2 tips for you. 1, for breakfast that is. 1, add some protein powder to your Greek yogurt. Mix it in, give it some nice little flavor. Or have black coffee with a Premier protein shake poured in as like your creamer. Premier protein shakes have 30 grams of protein, so to just pour that in your coffee and drink it with breakfast or throughout your morning, super easy way to get a nice chunk of protein. Protein tip number 2 is to have some protein snacks. Things like edamame, rice cake with the Greek yogurt protein shake or protein powder mixture is really, really helpful. Greek yogurt, tuna packets, cottage cheese, all of those things. Anything that you can take with you throughout your day is going to allow you to get closer and closer to your goal. And protein tip number 3 is to supplement as needed. If you want to add some, like I said, the protein powder into your Greek yogurt or anything like that, super helpful, but you can also add a post-workout protein shake. This is a really good way to get some carbs, fuel your body back up, get some protein in, allow for that recovery process to begin, and help you get closer and closer to that goal. So I'm not saying you need to have a protein powder, but it can be super, super helpful to get closer to your goal. So I do recommend Bucked Up supplements that you can use code LINK20 to save 20% on your order. I hope you're ready to implement these super helpful tips. And if you're looking for some more information, especially on macronutrients and how to break up your meals to make it all work, make sure you check out my Macros 101 ebook on my website. I'll have the link in the description box below. I'll also pop it right here on the screen. Make sure you check that out. It's super cheap, tons of information. I hope you love it. If you have any questions, make sure you drop them in the comments below, and I will catch you in the next video.